I'd like to call to order the County Commission work session for September 3rd. If y'all would bow with me, I appreciate it. Dear God, we give thanks to you, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for another beautiful day with our loved ones. As we conduct our day, you are forever in our hearts and thoughts. We ask you for love, guidance, protection, everything we do. Please watch over those who mean the most to us. Help us remember when we make decisions tonight, it's based on the power and the love you give us. For each family here, please be with us as we leave tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. Everyone stand for the pledge.
With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, call roll, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Simpkins?
Here.
Mr. Ledger?
Here.
Mr. McElwain?
Here.
Mr. Beatty?
Here.
Mr. Dawson? Ms. Spicer?
Here.
Mr. Buckner?
Here.
Mr. Britt?
Here.
Mr. Petty?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Grove?
Here.
Ms. Gray?
Appreciate everyone being here. As notified Commissioner Dawson home ill, so y'all remember him and think about him while he's recovering. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of the August 5th, 2024 work session. Open the floor for motion. Motion by Commissioner Petty, second by Commissioner Buckner. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 2, committee reports. Any committees to report? Seeing none. Item 3, appointments. The first is a Regional Solid Waste Board. The names on these that would that have been on there, we'd like to get reappointed is Mr. Jeff Martin, Mr. Ken Nafe, and Ms. Mary Littleton. I'll open the floor for a motion to move these on the regular session. Motion by Commissioner McElwain, second by Commissioner Spicer. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next is Library Board of Trustees. We've had someone term out. Former County Mayor, Ms. Linda Frazier, is interested in that, and I'd like to bring her name forward to appoint her to that board. Open the floor for a motion. Motion by Commissioner Beatty, second by, thank you, Commissioner Simpkins. Thank you. Any question or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Under new business, first is quarterly financial reports. Mr. Hall.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the fourth quarter ending June 30th of 24 that just passed. This is for, this be right here would be audited when the auditors come to see us fairly soon in a couple months. They're actually doing some preliminary reports right now. I won't spend a whole lot of time on this. They are all completed. All the funds that we oversee, which is about 9 of them or 7 of them now. We closed out the bridge and the ARP fund and that type thing. We've gotten those funds completed now. The main thing I'll tell you is they all came out in good stead. We had no shortages or shortfalls in any of those funds. So that's the main thing I was just going to bring to you. I sent those to you Friday afternoon or evening sometime. If you want to look them over, give me a call. Miss Gray, I hadn't heard from you yet, but call me or send any questions. I don't mind answering any of them. But that's the main thing I was going to get across is that they all came out in good stead.
Commissioner, Mr. Hall.
On page 19 of the general fund,
Okay.
I think, is that building purchase, it's got food line, is that the Eubank property?
No, it's actually what do we call it now, Mayor? It's the library and some of the offices over there.
Dickson County Government Building where the library is located.
No, it's got building purchase $6 million and it's got.
Oh, that is property. I've got it labeled wrong then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure.
That is correct. I need to change that. It's been a while, hasn't it?
We don't buy real estate twice. Any questions for Mr. Hall? We'll open the floor for a motion, move this on a regular session. Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Grove. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 2, capital outlay note, Mr. Hall.
Yeah, the capital outlay notes here. We have the budget for highways capital outlay notes. So I don't know that I really have to improve or include this, but I will, since we're doing a request here for a landfill or solid waste capital outlay note for a roll-off truck for $199,765. And that will also be in number 3 for the budget amendment there. It'll be included in that budget amendment number 3, but I'd like to go ahead and get those capital outlay notes sent on 2 weeks from now. That way I can get a hold of Miss Linda Mooningham at the Lone Pool in Nashville.
Any question, Mr. Hall?
It is budgeted though in the highway, just not in the landfill.
I'll open the floor for a motion. Motion by Commissioner Ledger, second by Commissioner McElwain to move this on the regular session. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 3, budget amendment, Mr.
Okay,
Hall.
the budget amendment, I sent you that Friday and it just included the budget amendment for the capital outlay note and code 790, I believe is what it was. I included that in. Yeah, other equipment for 199,765, but I have since included a 1.5 million budget amendment also in addition to the 199,765. I don't know if the mayor wants to jump in here and make a statement on this right now.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what this is. We went on and we knew we were going to have some capital purchases and improvements we need to do at the landfill, but we didn't put them in at budget time. We did put in, we'd have to have the rollback vehicle because we have those on a rotation. So that's there. The biggest expense, we've got several things we got to do, but the floor in the transfer station is having to be replaced. After all the years of the loader scraping and all that, it has to be redone. The biggest portion of that is $700,000 of the 1.5 million. There's other list of some equipment and buying topsoil, some open containers and things of that type. The reason, and I know most of you have been around long enough to know, we don't put that in the budget simply because we could have put that in like we did the rollback and borrow it. But we know the rollback we have to go on and get because we know because of the rotation of the vehicle, we got to get it in. What we did was we wait till we close the books on landfill. And when Ms. Whitaker and Mr. Hall close those, we keep the fund balance there at 75%. They were approaching nearly 100% in that fund balance. So instead of us having to borrow the money, we can just pay for it out of the fund balance and still have a healthy fund balance and in the landfill fund. So it gives us a cash option to do that. Did you send a list of all the other items?
I did not, but I can if that's what.
Let's send that to them tomorrow where they can see what they are. But the biggest one is the floor in the landfill that, or the transfer station has to be done and the concrete on it. So that's half of what needs to be spent. But what that'll do, it'll level off the landfill fund to 75% fund balance, which is healthy on that. So,
And it's just for one-time expenditures. It's not for recurring expenses.
no, yes, this purchases, capital purchases.
Motion to approve.
Was that Commissioner Grove? Thank you, Commissioner Grove. Commissioner Ledger, thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Item number 4, they have a men's school fund, education capital fund. I have you, Mr. Hall, but
It's me.
oh, okay.
Yeah, this was back during when we passed the budget, the approval of budget some night when we had the nonprofits and tax rate and, set the tax rate and the appropriation resolution. This was my responsibility here to include this education capital project fund 177, the $15 million that we're transferring from general purpose project or school fund. We failed to get that on the appropriation resolution. And when I sent all the information to general or division of local finance up at the comptroller's office, they contacted me and said, they asked me in a joking manner, did you mean to leave this off? And I said, no, I can't think of any reason to leave that off. So we had never done that before. So I said, what do we need to do? And they just said to get it on the amendments. So this here is getting it put back in. It is from a general purpose fund transfer and revenue, transfer anyway. It's not revenues actually, but it's a transfer and it's going to go into 76-100 code regular capital outlay, $15 million in, $15 million out. So
This is the money.
Approval.
This is the money you already voted to transfer. It's just cleaning the books up, the schools, the 15 million that y'all voted for a 3 months ago, I believe. Thank you, Commissioner Simpkins. To have a second by Commissioner Spicer. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you.
We're going to blame it on Dr. Sullivan though.
Okay, well, good. She's available for the next one, so we'll blame her. Next is Board of Financial Reports, Dr. Sutherland.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayor, County Commission. It's good to see you tonight. I brought a folder and I will give the preface that if I ever give you too much information, let me know and I'll pull back on that. We'll go over the quarterly report. We'll start with the general purpose fund, the 141. We'll look at 40100, the county property tax. You'll see that in the budget of 23-24, we estimated a 10 million cost expenditure there. We actually received 11 million, a little over 11 million. So it was an addition to what we budgeted, that 718,000. You'll also see on the county local taxes, we had estimated that probably needing 14 million, or we would need 14 million. We actually received there 20 million. And you can see the difference there of the 6 million. And that's when you see these numbers, you're going to be very happy at the end. So stay with me here. The investment outcome, you can see the difference here, what we estimated and what we actually had. And then on page 2, I thought that maybe you would ask a question on what is the number 46790, that other vocation. That is our ISM grant. You probably have heard of the Innovative School Grant that we are doing with our CTE program. That is a reimbursement grant. So we spend it, then the state reimburses us for it. You'll see the difference there. And then on page 3, you'll see the total estimated revenues and other sources. You'll see that budgeted 23-24, a little over 88 million. Year to date, what we ended up with was about a little over 92 million, which was a 4 million increase in revenues. And so when you get to page 15, here's where the good news lies. On the total estimated expenditures, you're going to see budgeted $107 million. We only expended 97 million. So that left a little over $9 million, almost $10 million. And we put that right back in the fund balance. So we could have a good, healthy fund balance of $31 million. So we've been really good stewards of the money. And I would say that that's a really nice fund balance for the school system. So 31 million.
Any questions for
Questions?
Dr. Sutherland?
So how much was y'all over on property taxes? 6 million, you said 6 or 7 million?
On the property tax,
Uh-huh.
I would have to.
I just got a question. When do we get these numbers?
When did we get these numbers? At the end? We have to wait until expenses. We're typically a month behind.
So I get, don't think you over 6 million. We had to raise taxes 11 million to make up 3 million. We increased your budget by 5 million. If we'd have knew these numbers 2 months ago, we wouldn't have to raise taxes, right?
Well,
Not necessarily.
on this, one of the things that's lost in this is the maintenance of effort dollars. What we allow schools, the maintenance of effort formula shows less revenue than they actually receive. Because we use that formula, that 5-year formula of a 5-year average and a 5-year low, and give that money. We use that maintenance of effort figure because if anything ever happened at schools, we don't have to ever give any more money in that. But what we always do is, because they collect more than that, typically, well, always since I've been here, they get to keep that money and it falls over into their fund balance. So it's some, I don't want to use the word trick, but it's an accounting tool, because we show their actual income that would close to be zeroing out every year, how we do our budget. But we don't operate under maintenance effort on general fund budget, the schools does. So I know what you're saying, and on paper, you're exactly right, but they're compared to what their true revenues were, that budget's about in line. So it's not really extra money, because you notice the fund balances actually decreased 6 million from where it was budgeted where it's thought to be.
Well, that's because we draw 15 million out of it, though, give them to it, right?
We did last year, yes.
So that's why it's decreased 6 million.
But it went down 15 and back up for a net increase of 6 is what it appears to be on that.
Right.
But that's when Mr. Hall starts earning his money. You know everything I know right now.
Yeah.
Okay, other questions in the general purpose fund of 141? If not, we'll go on to the federal projects fund. You know, this is in and out money. It's a standalone. Just as the cafeteria fund 143. You will see, if you look at page 2 of the 143 fund, we had estimated a negative of over a little bit of $1 million just due to the cost of food, maybe students not and families not reporting that they may be free and reduced lunch. So we're working on a plan to help support our families and getting the communication out. So I have a team looking at that. We actually, it ended up being a 625,000 negative in that department, which would be pulled out of the a little over June 30th, 2 million fund balance there that we would have to take out. But we're looking at cost of paper products have increased. Again, the food and making sure that we're getting the right paperwork in for our students. So I'm creating a plan. And so we're hoping that this year that cost expenditure will decrease. And then the last is the quarterly report for the fund balance fund of 177. I like to give you an update. We will be setting out bids for the CTE building in 2.5 weeks to start that major project. Questions?
Any questions for Dr. Sutherland? I'll take care of it. Any question for Dr. Sutherland? Just
I mean, I appreciate what you've done here.
Uh-huh.
In the past, we see these numbers around budget times, and I'm kind of like Commissioner Groves. We see those numbers then and we see numbers now. And that gives us a better idea exactly how the school is operating. That's my personal belief. And I appreciate what you've done here. And this is something we normally don't see.
thank you.
Well,
Any other questions? Open the floor to motion, send us on a regular session. Motion by Commissioner Beatty, second by Commissioner Gray. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sutherland.
Mayor, one of the things that the county commission asked me for last time was the buckets of money for athletics. I did include that in your packet. And if you have questions, you can call me, but I can put that on the agenda for our next meeting.
Thank you.
But that was an ask.
You have that in your packet? Good. All right, next item is errors and double assessments. Ms. Pendergrass.
Hello.
It's good to see you.
Well, I had to introduce myself to the mayor because I don't never get to see him over here. Errors and double assessments. This is just something that I report to the commission once a year. Basically, it's increasing and decreasing taxes. We had collections of like 96.40% and unpaid of 3.60, which was roughly what it was last year. And this is just, I know for the new ones, I sent you a report showing it's where we pick up, Jen sends me something where we pick up or delete something for whatever reason. And I'm just reporting to you all for you all to pass it on to the meeting.
Thank you. Any questions, Pendergrass? We'll open the floor for a motion, move that to regular session. Thank you, Commissioner Grove. Thank you, Commissioner Petty. Any question or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Ms. Pendergrass, tax relief.
Okay, this is something, again, I come to you each year. We, you all approve, Don, it's 200,000. I think you upped it some last year. We, it's a property tax program for the elderly and disabled homeowner and the veteran or the widow or widower of a veteran. And due to the ratio, and it's some way to figure it, this year we're lower. We're paying the elderly and disabled $134 and veterans $722, which is down a little bit. But I'm coming to the commission because, and I always say this every year, because initially we were one of 16 counties that even matched. Some of these counties don't match. Y'all are matching dollar for dollar. If it's 134 for the elderly from the state, the county will give them 134 up to the amount of their taxes. Same thing on the veteran. So I appreciate the income this year. And if y'all ever need to call and ask me, but the income this year is $36,370. So I'm really dated because when I started, it was $12,000. So that's where we are now. We're up to the, yeah. So I'm just asking you all to approve that and move it on to the commission meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Spicer. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Beatty. Thank you. Any questions from Ms. Pendergrass? Hearing none, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Number 8, LGIP account deposits. Ms. Pendergrass.
Okay, this is a real good one. As long as I've been in office, we've never heard this until we heard it in a trustee meeting one night, that I'm supposed to get commissioner approval to invest in the local government investment pool, which is the state money, which is where I have sometimes $50 and $75 million. And I'm just asking for you all to approve to let me do that. The interest rate this month is 5.33%. And I watched that. Of course, it hadn't been that good. It may go down a little bit, but I'm just asking approval for what I've been doing for, let's see how many years, 22 years.
I'll just,
But anyway, this is the first we've ever heard of in a trustee meeting that we're supposed to get approval from you all to do that. So I'm asking that. So it'll
Thank
be
you.
put in the minutes.
thank you, Commissioner McElwain. To have a second, second by Commissioner Williams. Make a comment here. I've worked closely with Ms. Pendergrass over the years, since the 14 years I've been here, and she does a fantastic job. It's just odd that we're finally having to do this, but your money's.
That might have been a Steve Austin thing. You know Steve Austin from CTAS. So if you do.
Or the $6 million man, whichever. one.
Yeah, he's an attorney with CTAS. So
Because we know attorneys are not a lot of fun.
I'm not knocking the attorneys. I'm just, Steve Austin's kind of, he's one of these that I will say, and Bob knows this, that it's almost at every trustees meeting, he will do a class on salaries, where we have the choice to sue you all and all that. And we're like, okay, he really believes in doing that. So
We thank you for not seeking his advice.
I have no plans of doing that. I never have and I never will.
Thank you. But while we're on a high note, we have a motion to second. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you. Item number 9 and 10, we need to delay those. Mr. Vandervoort was unavailable, and then we need to just delay the countywide speed limit for the time being. Item number 11, traffic study, Hogan Road, Commissioner Spicer.
Mr. Spicer requested a traffic speed analysis report. That was ran over 11-day and 2-hour study, August 13th through the 24th. The volume of vehicles on this was in the 1500 block of Hogan.
Is that just on my Hogan Road? Is that from Sanker to the interstate?
Yeah, through that section. So that serves a lot. I was surprised by the volume. I knew it'd be high, 15,053 vehicles.
Is Commissioner Simpkins, Spicer, is that what you wanted?
Talking about the, what'd you say, Sanker to what?
I said to the interstate, but I didn't want to put words in your mouth.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah. And
The man that was complaining to me, I can't remember his name, where all the black fencing is.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, we ran one there once before.
that's what, yeah, and you was gonna go back and get a report.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that.
I can have that updated by the next meeting.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that that was the portion you wanted. And again, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
This was the man that's calling me is where all the black fence is, and that's, I don't think that's where you're talking about. But what have you got there?
This is going to be between Sanker Road and probably about the interstate.
that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the black fence where the sharp curve is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, Mayor. It's
I'm
the
trying to
team
figure out
effort.
which way we were going. Okay.
Like I say, a high volume of vehicles. Some of it could be in people cutting through we've had some interesting traffic patterns since 46 is being
Mhm. Yeah.
paved and milled and all that. Anyway, the top, in one direction, maximum speed 84. The other direction, 104. The 104 might be a bush hog.
Are you?
And I think it was Commissioner Grove.
Rusty?
But we do now have a camera on that thing. So, but getting back to what we always do, the 85th percentile was 37 in one direction, 39 in the other. If I were going to make a recommendation, the current speed limit's 45, could probably live with 35. That puts it right at the cusp of that 85th percentile. I wouldn't recommend any lower than 35.
Commissioner Spicer, is that your motion?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll open the floor for a second. Commissioner Grove, you don't want to be, I'm sorry. Okay, Commissioner Williams. Give you an opportunity. We have a proper motion, a second. All in favor of moving this on a regular session, vote by stating aye. Opposed, thank you.
Thank you.
You're on record. And going back, I know you mentioned the countywide speed limit. There's some work that Mr. Commissioner Simpkins brought up, wants to do with the county attorney and the sheriff and highway department before we go any further with that. So we'll get that back on at the appropriate time. Item number 12 is part-time employee raises. As we tell you, we closed out the books in general fund. We don't have a final fund balance. We're confident that we're in decent shape on that. Mr. Hall, to give the 50 cent an hour raise to all part-time employees, what was that total dollar figure?
Pays itself, 36,000 benefits would make it around 50,000.
So that's been increased the part-time pay raise, 50 cents an hour. That's a motion by Commissioner Buckner. Thank you. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Spicer. Any questions or discussion?
Mayor, I need to abstain on that because I probably have someone that's involved in that.
Okay, we'll note that. You heard the dollar figure, and again, what we've typically done, we started off not doing a lot, and then we went to a quarter hour and 50 cents an hour. That's going to be roughly between 4 and 5%, depending on the dollar amount they make. That's a recommendation, but as you can see, the aggregate dollar amount, that's large. If you want to entertain something else, it's the will of this body. But we do have a motion, a second to do this, but we can move that on regular session. If you'd like to have that discussion with myself or Mr. Hall between now and the regular meeting, please reach out to us. There's no question discussion. All in favor of moving this on to regular session, vote by stating aye. Opposed? Thank you. Under other business, audit committee minutes regarding audit year ending June 2023 from a meeting held on June 18th, 2024 by Mr. Don Hall. Would you like to report on that?
This here is basically kind of like the CTO 253. It's a law that we say we're going to do that, and we always report that when we complete a borrowing. We always let you know this here is also the same, that we have our audit committee, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you the members of that audit committee. Anton Reese, he works with Blankenship CPAs. Tim Spann, the owner of Fuzzle's Men's Shop. Fanae Miller, owner of, or co-owner of Jean's Body Shop. Mary Stacy, she's an employee at First Bank, and Mike Walters at Blankenship CPA. So there's a decent mix there, I think, of the business community here in Dickson County, 5 members. But basically, but June 18th, we got together and talked about the audit from last year. And it's basically the same type thing with CTO 253. We're required to let you know that we completed that. And I file it with the county clerk's office, and Luann has that in her office now. So that's basically all it is.
Thank you. Do they have any recommendations or anything? Were they fine with the audit?
No, I mean, the recommendations, we've already been through a year since the last audit. This is for June 30th, 2023. And we've implemented 2 plans from the last audit, and we completed those this year already. It helped us with that meeting from that last time, from last year. So it's working as it's supposed to.
Any question, Mr. Hall? Thank you, Mr. Hall. Next item, other business, third-party collection station for trustee. Ms. Pendergrass, you get an encore.
Okay. Now, I know y'all aren't going to object to this. I'm wanting to bring, and Attorney Reagan has been on board with me on this. I'm wanting to bring 10 years of personal property back to my office from the clerk and master's office. And I'm wanting to turn it over to a third-party collection agency. The name of that, they're American Financial Credit Services. They add 20% the first 60 days and 25% after that. It costs the county absolutely nothing. They collect the attorney fee, they collect everything. And do you have anything to say on this, Commissioner?
Yeah,
Attorney Ray?
I'll take that. Yeah, so it does not require commission approval. It only requires notification by the trustee. She has authority by statute to enter into this, but she's simply making you aware of the fact that she is doing it. And yes, we have looked at it. In fact, we are piggybacking off of Sumner County, who is already using the same service. We've talked to the comptroller's office about that and believe that we're on good footing to be able to proceed with her doing that. So
Nobody likes to pay personal property. And I'm not dogging the clerk and master by any means, but they've got a lot to do collecting real property. And so I don't mind collecting it. I don't mind bringing 10 years back and us trying to see, because the other counties that are on board with this company are doing really well. I mean, anything beats nothing, right? That's the way I look at it.
Fantastic.
So I'm just passing that on to you all. Thank you for your approval.
Thank you. Any announcements? Yes, Commissioner Simpkins.
Thursday night is Farm to Table. It's be downtown Dickson again. It looks like the weather's going to cooperate to work off of rain, but now I think they put that off. We all know what that's for. If anybody attended the fair Monday night at the cattle show, I was really amazed at what our young people are doing. I think, Miss Becky, I want you to elaborate too, but I think we had like 60 plus entrants in cattle showing at the fair this time. We've really outgrown that facility. The cattle, the kids are just side by side with the cattle in the barn and our arenas. We're not much bigger than that right out there. And the quicker we can make a move toward our ag pavilion, the sooner the better. Whatever we need to do to push that along, I think we'd all be for that. And the mayor, I know you work hard on that, so I'm not slighting you for that.
Thank you.
Just attending what Monday night, what it looked like there, and the kids and the arena. At one time, it was totally full of people, you know, grandparents, parents, and everybody. So it was really nice. So I just want to pass that along. Miss Becky, I want you to elaborate on that too.
And also Saturday was a huge goat show. Goats, I can't imagine where all these goats come from. They come from everywhere because it's on a point system and they come out of the woodwork to get points on their goats. And yeah, I wasn't able to be there Saturday, but it's always a huge goat show too. But we are the judge has problems because the arena is so small and you get 6, 7, 8, 13, 1,400 pound cows in there. It's hard to judge them, but they did get some of our lights fixed. We just still had some breakers going off, not nothing as bad as it has in the past, but still people had to bring generators to run their blowers and their equipment to get the cows ready. So and we had a lot of cows that were invited to come and they said, are we going to have to use a generator? Well, yeah, we're not coming.
Yeah.
But,
You want to borrow this?
I'll come and get it. You don't even have to throw it. I'll take care of you later. But it was, I mean, there was nowhere to sit for over half the show. The bleachers were full. We went at it 3.5 hours hard. It went over till 9:30. We had so many entries.
Well, I'm glad it went well, and I hope you all have an opportunity to go to the farm to table, because the ag community's been working hard over these years to raise money. But as y'all know, county government has $1.25 million in hand to move forward the ag center, which we know that's not enough to build one, but we're getting there. And the ag community, I think, has raised about $75,000 roughly over time. But it's probably going to ask everybody on that side of the fence to start doubling down, because we're going to have some real deals. My understanding, the schematic of what the ag center is proposed to look like, which is not a plan, but it's just a drawing of an idea, but that's going to be available. You can see that Thursday night. If not, I'll make sure it's here 13 days from now when we meet again, so y'all can see what it looks. But I saw it on the computer. I can't wait to see the big sketch, but it looks really nice, and something that knowing the ag community can be proud of, the whole county can be proud of, to having something like that. So we're going to keep pushing to get that thing started maybe next spring. Commissioner Beatty. So, good, thank you. Any other announcements?
Fire truck at Mount Zion.
Good. When did it open up? Good. Right, we're good. And I appreciate our friends at Tennessee City to helping get that done. Because we know everywhere we couldn't do what we do with protection as community, one for our volunteer fire department. So we appreciate them stepping up and filling that gap out there in the Mount Sinai community. Commissioner McElwain. Haven't got the grant. We don't know the grant information. We've approved and all the radios have been ordered. We're just hoping that dollar figure that we approved will get squashed down some, but we're knocking on wood and hoping that comes up here real soon. But as soon as I know, I'll let y'all know, because that'll let me sleep better at night, knowing we don't have to spend that much money. Any other questions, any announcements? I know you two last August birthdays. I hope it was a glorious birthday for both of you. Are you willing to tell us how you celebrated? Okay. He had a good one then. Do you remember yours, Commissioner Gray? Okay, good. I want to talk to Commissioner Williams after. I want to hear more about his. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're getting pulled apart over there. All right, there's no other announcement. The next work session meeting will be on Monday, October the 7th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the Beaverdale B.D. Reed Junior County Commission Chamber of the Dickson County Administration Building, Forecourt Square, Charlotte, Tennessee.